It doesn't matter what the districts look like. It doesn't matter if they're red. It doesn't matter if they're blue. It doesn't matter what team gerrymandered them. It doesn't matter if it's a nice mix. It doesn't matter if it's half and half. It doesn't matter if the districts were drawn perfectly. It won't make a bit of difference. And that's the problem. So it like that, having people focus on that, like somehow that's the problem. What difference does that make? We've seen every incarnation of a legislature. We've seen it with, you know, what do you call it? Filibuster proof majorities. We've seen super majorities. We've seen all these things on both sides, and nothing changes. Everything gets progressively worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So it's like this downward trajectory. So does it really matter if the people doing it are red or blue? I mean, I actually, the gerrymandering thing, I could not care less anymore. No. I really don't. I don't care. Let them gerrymander the shit out of everything.
Which also goes to show you why they made such a positive. Again, the Democrats came out and said it was the greatest thing ever that we gerrymandered the shit out of the state of Virginia. And I thought to myself, do you not see how this is going to come back and bite you 10 times harder than you could possibly imagine? You think that the Democrats are a bunch of pussies compared to Republicans. The Republicans play for keeps. They don't care if you hate them. They don't care if you think they're criminal. They only care about whether or not they create an infrastructure that's to their advantage. That's it. And meanwhile,
strategically, they're much better for sure. Like yes. They definitely work much more. They see the forest through the trees with strategy, and the Democrats really don't. The Democrats are just, again, I don't think they're meant to. They're MIC resistance. They're controlled opposition. They're not meant to do anything, which is why it doesn't matter if the states are all completely gerrymandered. It doesn't matter. Oh, you think because now—
That is not correct. They did it in Texas, which was
started it in Texas. Are you insane?
That's just the most recent incarnation of what they did.
We had go back and look at when we had the Long Island activists on here a few years ago when the Democrats in New York gerrymandered the shit out of that state to be able to have control of the proper people in the proper locations. My point is, if the entire country is gerrymandered, it doesn't matter. And when people are saying things like, you're taking away the power of the Black vote. So, okay. If the power of the Black vote is what it is, then how come things aren't working better than they are? The Black vote has been supporting Democrats forever. I don't see things better.
And I will cover this on Saturday at greater length, but let's just say that I was informed today on pretty good authority that Debbie Wasserman Schultz is fully prepared to run for Congress again in the congressional district that, as of this moment, is occupied by Sheila Sherfulis McCormick. So what she's
resigned.
She did, but she is intending to run again. It's a long story, but we can talk about it later. Here's my point. Wasserman Schultz is trying to represent a Black district of which she has done more damage to the Black community in South Florida than the Republicans could ever hope to do.
That's why they let her sit there for as long as they did. However, I would also suggest that that same district was represented by a Black man for years that worked hand in hand with Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Yes.
So, you know, that's the difference.
Colin, check your phone and check what's going on, please. Debbie is going to run in this district, and she is going to, again, and we'll get to Massie later, the equivalent of what's going on. Colin, I need the article. Please pull it up.
He doesn't know it. Stop it. Stop.
I need the article for Utah, please. Wasserman Schultz is going to do what she's going to do. And it's the equivalent of what Massie is dealing with putting $10 million into a congressional district in East Kentucky. That is the equivalent of $25 million plus, as they did against Jamal Bowman, against Cori Bush. This is what they do. This is the broken system, and they're going to keep doing it. So anybody that actually feels that it's worthy to step up and say something, they get all caught up in the electoral process, where I would say the only time the electoral process actually ever matters, and I mean ever matters, is when you have any elected official that is not bought and paid for by the system that's actually trying to fight back against it. That's it. And so,
But then once they're in, it doesn't matter, because then they're just one of however many people that are bought and paid for. So it really doesn't matter. Coming back full circle to gerrymander away, people. Have red states, have blue states, have at it.
here's the
Create
story.
it however you want.
Yes. And again, this is why when it comes to, and again, I got to call another audible because of the way things are just going right now. But this is part of the problem when it comes to somebody like Massie, because he's actually somebody who is trying to serve the people. And who is coming to his defense? Just like if anybody knew the full depths of what's going on with McCormick and Wasserman Schultz, they would understand why this happened in the first place. Debbie will sink the entire party to save her neck. And everybody in Florida is about to find out that that's what's happening.
Are you going to
And
make
now-
me watch Debbie Wasserman Schultz?
No.
Okay. Because you scared me for a minute there. I mean, I don't know that I can handle, any of this kind of
I'm not
thing.
gonna. No, we're not gonna put you through that type of shit.
There it
Being
is.
cognizant of the time right now. Yeah. Thomas Massie, as many of you know, sat down for an interview with Tucker Carlson, and he basically talked about a lot of things because it was a very long interview. So I had to sort of pick a spot that I thought was the most relevant. Here's what I found.
What is the current polling in your race?
It's a single point lead for me. It's not very fluid. They've spent $10 million against me. And when I say they, I hope we get into they.
Yes.
It's going to be close. It's just going to be, the result is going to be based on who turns out.
So it was 81% margin, 76, 75, like full on blowouts in the Republican primary in your district in Kentucky. And now it's within a couple of points and you could lose.
Correct.
And the difference is they have spent $10 million against you. So I don't think anyone would dispute that. That's the difference. The money poured into this race from outside of Kentucky is basically pushing you to the point of almost losing, and you may lose. Where'd that money come from?
Well, it didn't come from regular people. It's come from billionaires, and 95% of it, at least 95%, has come from the Israeli lobby.
Yeah, well, we knew that. They hate him.
And that is again the problem. So what is ultimately going to happen? They're going to buy off the entire Congress, and the entire Congress is going to answer to Israel.
Apparently, yes.
But what other possibility is there other than revolution? Like, what else do you think is going to happen? Everybody hates Israel. It is almost a universally known thing in the United States now that, with rare exception, people are done with Israel. They know that they basically run the show through our State Department. It's all,
What State Department? That implies we have some diplomacy. You mean the War Department?
The War Department, the military industrial complex, whatever you want to call it. It's all interconnected. And so here's the one true fighter, but especially in the GOP, that's actually willing to stand up to this. And they're making it their mission in life to get him out of there.
Yes.
You have the president of the United States saying, I totally hate this guy, get him out because, he's exposing the Epstein files and I'm a total pederast. So, you gotta get rid of him. Why are they trying to get rid of him? They're trying to get rid of him because he speaks truth to power, and you can't have that in a broken system.
He's not, he can't be bought. He can't be bought. And at the end of the day, that is what scares them the most about him.
Yeah.
So I'll give you their proxies. The RJC, which is the Republican Jewish Coalition, AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, Miriam Adelson, Paul Singer, and John Paulson went together. They funded a PAC called MAGA Kentucky, which is neither MAGA nor Kentucky. But when the ad
any of them live, who are those three people?
They have been, Miriam Adelson is the gambling magnate who ironically makes money from the Chinese now gambling and not in Las Vegas.
And she's literally an Israeli.
Yeah, she was born there.
Yep.
She's given over $200 million to the president. He puts her on the stage. He says that she's influenced his own policy.
Miriam, come on up here. Show yourself. You're really great. She gave $250 million to my campaign, but that totally doesn't affect me. No, definitely not. That's what you can appreciate about Trump, is that he just says the quiet part out loud. He's corrupt as hell, but you're allowed to be corrupt and be quiet about it. You can't be corrupt and be loud about it. That's not good for the machine. And the machine's
It'll be
breaking.
interesting to see if he wins. I hope, look, I hope for his constituents' sake that he does.
I do too.
I mean, he's very popular. So in theory, you shouldn't be, in theory, he should be able to retain his seat. But I know that they're going to do everything they can to disenfranchise his voters and make it be, yeah.
Well, and who's to say that the voting's going to be legitimate?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They're desperate to get him out.
Yeah.
And if you've seen the guy that he's running against, holy Lord.
I saw him. It's not good.
He also won't debate him. He's trying to win
can't.
his seat and he won't.
How could he?
Well, yeah, good point.
And attitudes toward Israel. And so she's trying to buy a congressional seat in Kentucky, along with the rest of these groups that are probably, by the way, getting her money as well. And there's also another interesting faction called Christians United for Israel. They're really just another wing of AIPAC and RJC that's been used to co-opt Christians into supporting their position. And their position is more war, it's more strife, it's more bombs, it's send more foreign aid. And those are the things that I've been voting against. So the real reason that this race is a serious race and I may lose is because a foreign lobby has fully funded, to the extent that they've never done in any Republican race ever before, my opponent.
But again, I suggest, what difference does it make anyway?
Well, I would say that it matters when you do have somebody like Massie, because he is willing to put himself out there in a way that is kind of exposing things to everyday people. And I will say this, who's to say that if Massie does get knocked off, that doesn't inspire some type of a revolutionary movement? I mean, people are sick of this. And it's also noteworthy to pay attention to the people who are in various forms of what, us and Lee and others do, that are on the take, that are out there basically throwing Massie under the bus, celebrating Trump still, in spite of everything we now know, that they're all just doing it for the money. They have no moral principles, zero whatsoever. And the ones who speak truth to power are the ones who suffer the most, because we're at the mercy of what the corporate machine is willing to put up with.